Hey,
Hey,
Thomas.
what's up, everyone? Welcome to podcast number 72 of the Basement Radio Arcade podcast. We are back after a busy week in gaming. E3 kicked off this weekend. We've had a lot of gaming news, a lot of controversy, if you will, regarding the Xbox One X and parity. Parity, that word has come back after we went through that at the beginning of this console gen. So, anyhow, we're gonna go. Let me go ahead and introduce everyone real quick. B Money, what's going on, my man?
Not much, man. Just trying to relax and take in all the E3 news, man. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on the past couple of days, but let's get to talking about games, man.
All right, sounds good, man. And Eric Jackson, what's going on, dude? Eric
Oh,
is.
sorry. I was muted. My daughter was having a conniption fit in the background.
That's
Um,
okay.
Oh,
I feel good, man. I'm ready to talk about everything that we saw, and I feel like a winner. I feel like I won E3.
There you go.
There you go.
you know,
Yeah, and returning as a guest this week, Fastback. What's going on?
what's going on? It's E3 has been great. It's all about power. Don't worry about the games. They'll be better if you got more power, sir. Let's
So they
do
say.
only power you need to worry about is keeping them lights on.
Exactly. Facts. So, Nels Coney, what's going? Looks like I believe we have the Tolbert brothers in the house. I believe these are Sam's brothers. So, big shout out to the Tolbert brothers. Thank you for joining us. Nels Coney in the live chat says Sony be holding back the industry. All right.
I was thinking about it earlier, man. I said Sony should concede about 20 million of their install base between and split it up between Microsoft and Nintendo as punitive damages.
Oh shit! You know what, man? I gotta say, I saw the dumbest comment by a fanboy today, who said Sony's calling the shots because they're the market leader or something. They're holding the industry back because of the market leader,
yeah,
something like that, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like,
How does that even make sense?
yeah. So it's Sony's fault for putting out a good product. I mean, putting out good games. It's their fault. I mean, was it Microsoft's fault last console gen? I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Ridiculous.
It's like, yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about the crossplay stuff. We'll get there.
Oh yeah, because I think Sony needs to. Our friend Randall Thor had a great video about this. We basically is like, look, if Nintendo came on board, and we know how protective Nintendo is of their fans and online gameplay, what's Sony's real excuse? Like, it just doesn't add up, right? But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to get to the first topic of the evening, which here comes Parity rearing its ugly head again. We went through this in the beginning of the console gen. We all saw this coming. We knew this was going to happen. Those of us who are realistic, had realistic like expectations of what the Xbox One X was actually going to do, and actually listened to what Phil said. When Phil said, "Don't pre-order, wait till you see the console, then make a decision." When Phil said, "This is a premium product, it's going to have a premium price. It's going to be, it's going to be within the price range that we've seen for consoles before." Yeah, we all knew. And for those of us, and look, for those of us who understand the business side of the gaming industry and understand, what goes into game development, I think all of us here had realistic expectations of what was going to happen next, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here we are. 3 days really after the Microsoft press conference on Sunday, where they show us the Xbox One X. I prefer Scorpio, to be honest. I think they should have kept that name. Here we are, and we're seeing things like, And this all started, by the way. Well, first, in fairness, this all started back when with the whole Destiny 2 thing, right? And now Digital Foundry put out an article about the new Assassin's Creed basically running checkerboarding on both the. Now, Phil Spencer said that Origins runs on is 4K. He never said native. He said 4K, and then we find out that both the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X version are basically going to run the same. Checkerboarding 4K, basically look the same, and everything just
which doesn't mean look bad. To start off with that doesn't mean we'll look bad. Just means they're going to be pretty close.
Yes, and Eric, I've said this to you many times. That we'll probably see the Xbox One X versions where there's parity probably look a little bit shinier, better draw distances. Gave me talk today. You know, more grass. Remember the whole blades of grass?
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably see that. But it's crazy. Like, so here we are now, and everyone's going nuts. And a lot of people, and it's not a lot. It's fanboys. Let's call it what it is. They're fanboys. And unfortunately, there's, I don't want to call any names, but there's certain people that you need to stop listening to on YouTube that don't know what they're talking about, that are just putting FUD out there. Ignore those people. They don't know what they're talking about. They really don't. So here we are.
Well, they do, but they got to get them. They got to get their clicks, just like anything else. So
yeah,
that's all that is.
Yeah, that's true. So they're not being very genuine. Yeah, I'm sorry, people. What did you say, man?
I said it's all about the dollar at the end of the day, man. I don't think
that YouTube good. You need that YouTube check. That X is coming.
Yeah, right.
That's right, man.
I gotta put out more lies so I can buy that new Xbox.
I gotta talk some shit, man. I gotta get these numbers up.
Yeah, right.
Whether I believe it or not.
What'd you do with that TV I gave you, Gator?
I sold it, mama.
Mama, I smoked it. So here we are, and everyone's going nuts. So now everyone's saying that Sony is holding back the industry, that the PlayStation 4 Pro is the reason why we have parity. And that's not true. Phil said, if you guys listen to what Phil said, they're not forcing developers, they're not mandating developers to implement 4K, native 4K to third-party developers. They're leaving it up to the third-party developers to decide what they want to do with the power. A couple things we need to think about here. One, the Xbox One X, no one owns one yet, except for maybe the folks at Microsoft. They have them, right? But the console hasn't been released to the public yet, so there's no install base there. It's probably projected to do to do what the PlayStation 4 Pro has done for Sony. It's projected to have the same impact for Microsoft, right? I think what is it? Pros make up 20% of the consoles being sold now? Is that
yes? 1 out of 5. Well, yeah, 1 out of 5.
Yeah, 1 out of. Yeah.
So 20%. And so think about this. I want everyone to think about this is a business, right? It costs a lot of money to make games. Game development isn't cheap. We've heard about this. Phil's talked about this. It's just not cheap. It's a high risk, high reward industry now. So you have to factor in that neither, and the PlayStation 4 Pro has been victim to this too. Because think about how many developers or how many games haven't received patches for the Pro, right? I mean, obviously,
those are people that really should be mad. You spent $400 again, and barely got any support for any of the games.
Yeah, but that ties into my point. The reason being is that developers aren't going to spend the extra money to port over a game, to take it through testing, to take it through certification, or maybe to create new assets for a console that has a very small user base.
Right. Because, wait, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't mean to cut you off, but Sony didn't mandate anything either, right?
No.
Right.
Okay.
So this is what people need to think about. This is purely business. This is about development. This is about time. This is about the expense that goes to development. And this goes into the fact that both the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro don't have large install bases. So what are developers going to do? They're naturally going to focus their time and effort and their resources into making the games run the best and look the best on the consoles where the majority of gamers are going to be playing that game on.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they got a schedule to make. And plus, people don't realize the Pro just came out last year. And the Xbox One X is coming out here this year.
Yeah.
But these games that are coming out, they've been in development for the last 2, 3, maybe 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And back then when they started developing these games, it wasn't about 4K 60. It was about, trying to meet 1080p, sometimes 30 locked, maybe 60.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not ready for consistent 4K 60. We can barely get 4K 30. So, Sony and Xbox. Yeah. And so Sony and Xbox, they brought out the Pro and they brought out the X to get ready for the 4K. Right now they're looking at 4K. Mm-hmm. 4K TVs are coming, they're selling. It's going to grow, but it's going to take time. So they can hit 4K, but people need to, calm down. 30 is good. So, these TVs, 4K TVs, they're in HDR.
Right.
I mean, it looks good. So I don't know, there's no complaint.
Yeah, think about that aspect. If a lot of it is like 4K, checkerboard, and then in some cases it is 4K native, wouldn't it make sense? Like we have, for the first time ever, iterative consoles, right? So that means we're a few more years out from the next generation, which I'm pretty sure at that point, these are like kind of ushering us into that next era of visual fidelity and everything like that. So it's sort of like, I would imagine like the next versions of consoles won't have any problem hitting 4K native. But again, I think people are buying too much into that 4K native like stuff. Yep. Way too much.
Well, because they bought into that power narrative, and what the biggest thing the thing that they forgot to think about is, what does this mean for game developers, and how are they going to implement, or how are they going to use this power? And like I said, all this stuff costs a tremendous amount of money. It's not something that's trivial, something that you can do at the drop of a hat. It costs money. Right. And that's why we're seeing this, what people are saying, this forced parity. It isn't because of PlayStation 4 Pro. It's the developers. And it's not the developers are lazy or, they're incompetent. It costs money and resources to do this. And it doesn't make business sense to increase your development cost and put something on a console that majority of the people that are playing the game aren't going to be playing it on this console. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because conceivably, there was like a monkey wrench thrown into the generation. It's like we started the generation with conceivably, I guess depending on who you ask, weak consoles, right? So it's almost like, again, here we are in this experimental period. And I know people have called these apology consoles. I don't necessarily know if I call them apology consoles, but they're definitely experimental consoles. And I told Enrique earlier, I said we could be seeing the birth and death of the iterative console. Because, between the Xbox One and the PS4, the market share is already there. And like you said, that's where the devs really want to be developing until, they don't want to probably necessarily pour those resources into what's considerably a fraction of the user base.
Yeah.
So it's and I remember Colin Moriarty saying, like, when it came to Sony, where they were, it's kind of like he didn't understand from jump why they were doing the Pro.
He didn't think they needed to do it.
Right. Now on the Microsoft side, I can kind of see it because it was like they kept getting hammered over how underpowered the Xbox One is. So, if you took away the fact that Sony didn't do one and Microsoft still did one, we'd still probably be in the same position, but it's still like, I don't know, it kind of negates the whole one is holding the other back scenario, because in a weird way, neither one of these should really exist.
And actually, the Pro is actually going to benefit from the Xbox One X being around now, because there's another console out there that, where developers are going to be a little more, maybe more inclined to port over games, whether it's checkerboarding 4K, whatever the case is, to the PlayStation 4 Pro, because now you have a larger install base combined with the Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro now, for third-party devs at least.
Right.
So and actually Digital Foundry had they did an article on that too, that the Pro is going to be ultimately the one that benefits from the Xbox One X. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's not a, I wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of FUD, there's a lot of misinformation going out there where people really think that it's, marketing deals that Sony has, or it's, Sony's forcing the hands of developers. It's not. And I heard from someone in the know in the industry that for developers, it's look, they don't want to really invest a whole lot in these premium consoles because it costs a lot of money, and I guess it's better for them to focus on the PS4 and the Xbox One S, considering the installed base on those consoles, combined installed base. I mean, you're looking at, what, close to 90 million now?
Between both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, between both, combined, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So how long do you guys think that these consoles stick around before we get the next iteration?
good question.
I'm really hoping at least 5 more years, at least until 2020, before they even talk about next gen. But because you look at last gen, what it was about a good 7 years, and so by the end of that gen, they pretty much got it down. The 1080, 1080p 30. I mean, GTA, some of the games, were looking good on both towards the end. They were able to get the max out of those consoles. So I want to see what the devs can do with that, with what we have. So it's going to take a little time. So I'm kind of curious, like Halo 6. Do y'all really think that that's going to come out next year? Or maybe 2019? I mean,
Probably 2019.
That's going to be more demanding than Forza 7. So
yeah, I would say 2019. And honestly, that is the game that is one of the games I should say should really be showing off what the X can do.
Yeah.
This whole thing of putting all this focus on the third-party developers is not really where it should be at. I mean, both Sony and Microsoft need to show you why you need to have these devices with their first party. It's their their product. It should conceivably work the best with their product.
Eric, that is a great point. That's a great point, man. Sorry, B, you want to go ahead, man?
No, I was just saying. I was just agreeing with Eric. I think, and that's the one thing that I don't think was shown from Microsoft's standpoint in regards to why you need to hurry up and go buy an X, because just from the E3 presentation, I don't think in my opinion, there wasn't much to say like, this is harnessing the horsepower of the X.
Right.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, most of the stuff they showed wasn't even running on it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like Forza 7, which is 4K 60.
Right.
I could play that on my Xbox One S, and it still look good. And then whenever I get a 4K TV, and one day I get an X, all right, good. That's gonna look better.
Yeah.
So I'll wait till then.
Yeah, and I think like we were talking before we came on, live. We were saying that there'll be a portion of the base that picks it up day one who are ready, because a lot of people have picked up their 4K TV in preparation for this. And I'm thinking Microsoft knows that, but then there'll be some who will be on the fence, waiting for, maybe like a 4-day sale at Best Buy where there's like a little price drop or something like that, because I mean, 500 is nothing to sneeze at. 400 is nothing to sneeze at for the Pro. You know what I'm saying? So I think you'll get that. But for me personally, I just need that. I need that compelling reason. I need to see that game that makes me go, yep, let's roll. And, I know we'll get into the E3 parts of it. Anthem looked really good, but it's sort of like, first thing I thought was, It's running on, from what I found out, is running on a PC. And I said, and probably at the end of the day, it's going to be downgraded. And then both of them are probably going to look fairly close on the Pro and the X.
Right.
You know, maybe a little bit better on the X, but pretty close.
When you watch like when the tree was falling and you saw like the actual like dirt fly in the air, you could tell it was running on a PC just from that. So, you know what I mean? If you pay attention to some of those smaller details, you can kind of tell like the game wasn't running on the Xbox One X, but it is what it is. I think it's still going to look amazing.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to that. But, you know, like you said, it wasn't being shown off on the proper hardware. So what does it matter at the end of the day?
Right. Exactly. And looking at it, nothing made me, you know, the thing I look at it as a gamer first. Did that game interest me? You know, there's so many games I play that I'm kind of like, at the end of it, I didn't go, that game was awesome. But what would have made it even better is if it was like, you know, the resolution was like much higher. You know, something like, so I don't, that's not the first thing I look at. So it may be lost on me.
You know, you guys bring up great points about, I think it was you, Eric, about, you know, the onus of selling these consoles falls on the shoulders of both Microsoft and Sony. You know, and like you said, B-Money, like they didn't really show us, you know, really a reason to buy this console. Had they come out with some, like, say, new first-party IP that looked freaking ridiculous, I mean, that probably would have got people excited. You know?
And maybe they do, or they will, because I know it's out there that, you know, that Phil doesn't want to show things too early. But at the same time, you know, I think it's like a gift and a curse, man. This thing was announced like a year ago at last E3, and that's a year of everybody, fanboys to the executives, telling you the beef is coming. You need to be scared. You need to, you know, it's like, I'm like, man, this shit's about to wreck shop. You know?
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I know we're going to get into the games of the conference, but at the end of the conference, I was kind of like, games, yeah.
Yeah.
Beast? Don't know if I need the beast.
Hey, Matt, what's going on, man?
Ew.
Thank you for joining us, man.
I didn't want to interrupt. I was just jumping in.
No worries, man. Glad to have you on again, man.
Always.
Quick question on both. You know, looking at both, like on Xbox when the Crackdown. I heard from I saw a deal from IGN that, and from others, that the game, it's fun to play. It's got good draw distance, but the frame, they were having trouble with the frame. I guess the frame stability is kind of little off a little bit, and I think some people saw that in the trailer.
I heard some people say that.
You know,
too.
that one's been in development for a while, and it's, you know, that's a first party game right there. But then you also look at God of War 4. The game looked great when they were showing it, and then afterwards they said it was on the regular PS4.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know.
So Matt, we were talking about
what did I miss?
We're talking about how Sony's forcing parity.
That's such a silly argument.
I know.
Because the problem is, it was what we always knew. They were always going to make these games work on the 1S and the regular PS4 and the Pro. And the only people that are ever going to take the time and effort to truly make the 1X shine are going to be the first-party studios.
Yep.
And
it's not Sony forcing parity. It's their own 1S, and we all knew it was coming. That's why, and the reports that like Assassin's Creed is going to be checkerboard on both, Forza is going to have 4K 60 frames per second, but that's because it's a Microsoft game.
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
Crackdown is that not going to be a lock 30, or you know? I don't know. Anybody hear anything on that? Like,
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about resolution.
It should be.
I would imagine it's at least lock 30.
It should be, if nothing else, it should be a lock 30.
So is it just too much going on that, you know, it's just, you know?
I don't know.
Demanding?
I didn't see. I know they did a demo of it. I didn't see the demo. So, and this is, I mean, it's crazy that this game's coming out in September?
November. It's launching with.
It is November.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Even Inferno, he said that it was, it was fun and everything, but he even admitted, it's kind of off.
Oh boy.
It was telling that their biggest holiday exclusive, and the one that launches alongside the One X, which means the one that's going to be the most associated with the One X, got no time on stage because they.
Yeah.
If they really had that whole explosion demolition stuff down pat, they would have showcased the hell out of it.
Yep, that's the same thing I said. I was like, this game's been in development for 3.5 years or so, something like that. And I'm like,
even more. It was supposed to be a launch title on the one.
Right, and I'm like, and it's coming out like you said in November. I'm like, and that's all they really showed from it. A little bit more of what we had already seen from the trailers, like no stage demo, no nothing. I'm like, that game's in trouble.
Oh, you didn't like Terry
Shannon
Crews?
Loftus did.
And I love Terry Crews, man. But
you would think with Terry Crews in it, it would be a 4K native lock 60 just with Terry Crews in it.
Well, Terry Crews, they were hiding behind Terry Crews to hide the fact that they didn't have that.
Yeah. Look at his muscles twitch.
Yeah.
Distracted.
They're like, Terry's going to come in and save this joint.
Yeah. Well, Shannon Loftus did tweet out that the game's still going to be using cloud and have fully destructible environments, and that they're going to show that.
They're going to show the multiplayer later. Yeah. Probably Gamescom.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think it will be there. I just don't think it's going to be anywhere in the form of what we saw when the game was first revealed.
Nope.
Well, they better try because, not that far off from Gamescom that the game's coming out. So.
Wow, and Nels just
launching it unless they bundle it with the X1X.
Wow, Nels was just saying that it can be finished in 3 hours.
What's that? Crackdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just sent it to us.
Yeah.
Really?
Which, I mean, this is one of the games I was looking forward to. I still am. I still want to know more about it because the first Crackdown I loved. The second one was garbage. But, I don't know. I mean, you
3 hours, that's short for a campaign.
Yeah, are you guys okay with 3 hours? I mean,
no.
Not in a game like that.
No.
I mean, I'm okay with it because for me, the part of the game I would probably play the most would be the multiplayer, but that's just me. Matt, you say no because.
I mean, I don't think. I think the co-op and stuff will extend it, but I don't. I mean, the other Crackdowns were way longer games.
Right.
They were. Yeah, you're right. So
it's not that I don't think 4-hour games or 3-hour games are worth it. There's plenty of games at length that I think are great, but they're not AAA, massive system showcases, I guess.
Right.
And they aren't from established franchises that already have a preconceived length to them.
Yeah, and in a world,
I think Crackdown, I already have in my mind how long that game should last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And in a world where MS kind of catches it sometimes for saying that their focus is always multiplayer. That doesn't bode well especially for a gamer like me. I'm primarily more of a campaign, single player with co-op type stuff.
Right,
Eric, man, we're just getting old, man.
I know, man.
I guess so.
All the stuff that we love is going away, man.
Pretty much. I guess so. Yeah, because I sit on my virtual lawn, yelling at these kids who always want to party chat. So,
I want couch co-op back.
Well, we got a system.
Here's hoping that guy's lying and it's not actually.
Let's hope.
So what else did I miss since I had to join in late?
We were just really just talking about the whole the perception of force parity from Sony and kind of breaking it down how it goes. That's really up to developers and really we also said, Matt, that people should have been paying attention to what Phil was saying too about when he said, hey, don't go out and pre-order right away. Wait till you see the console. We talked about the price, $499. Actually, we didn't really talk about that. We mentioned it, but we really get into too much detail of the price. But What do you guys think of the price? I think $4.99 is still a good deal for this, for what it.
It is, but
absolutely is.
the problem is, will normal people realize that?
No.
We already know that the people that they're courting with their marketing, the people that throw Scorpio symbols in their Twitter name and already love Xbox, they were already on board. But their marketing is only focused on those types of people. But then you have to picture the holidays when parents and grandparents are buying video game systems and they see a $199 to $249 Xbox, a $199 to $249 PlayStation, and a PlayStation Pro that's $100 cheaper if they don't even get a Black Friday deal, which you know they will. So we're talking $150 versus a $500 machine. Do they buy that?
Mm-hmm. No.
And yes, we know that they already said from the get-go that this will be an enthusiast machine, but you're just not going to get that kind of momentum from the hardcore base. Not with that price disparity. They're just going to see PlayStation Pro says 4K and One X says 4K. And how many people just buying video games like your Call of Duties, your Destiny, your Madden fans know the difference between dynamic 4K, true 4K, checkerboard 4K, what's HDR? No one knows that stuff because most people don't care.
Yeah, because who's like the segment of people right now looking for that is small. You know, especially I think when you get into Black Friday, you're going to have, I would imagine you're going to have like $199 bundle deals for both like the 1S and the PS4 Slim.
Oh yeah. And then we will get a probably like a $349 bundle for PS Pro.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be crazy Black Friday deals for that, I bet.
Yeah.
Yep. Match with all their third-party marketing deals.
Exactly, because that's the thing. You'll have a PlayStation 4 Pro paired with one of the three following. Either any one of them, massive sellers. Star Wars Battlefront 2, Call of Duty World War II, or Destiny 2. Right. Those will be the bundles Sony has. Microsoft will have an Assassin's Creed bundle and a Shadow of War bundle, which, while great games, do not move the numbers of Destiny, Battlefront, or Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. Matt, do you think they'll bundle Horizon Zero Dawn?
I think so. Like how they did with Uncharted?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. That's their huge game this year.
They'll probably do that with the Slim, though, right? I mean, that's what they did with the, Yeah, and with Xbox, real quick, I'm sorry. I think Xbox should push Cuphead and bundle that with the S.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a great game that people see and they're like, oh.
What is that? Yeah. I mean, it's like a curiosity showpiece. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Like they could do a quick bundle with Ori and Cuphead and just have like a really gorgeous Xbox indie showcase on the Xbox One, because that's the kind of stuff that I find interesting.
Yeah. You know where they could really kill? Like, I mean, One X aside, if they definitely do, like we said, a $199 bundle it with a game, but if they really push and beef up Game Pass going into the holiday and throw in like a 1 month
just throw in 3 months
trial or 3 months, throw in a 3 month trial, what parent wouldn't walk in and see that and go, holy shit, what is that?
One thing I find really interesting, because this year we're getting Battlefront, Call of Duty, and Destiny at the same time, is that each one of those games, the bundle from previous years, became massive sellers for PlayStation. Like the Destiny bundle was one of the biggest selling PlayStation things of all time. The Star Wars Battlefront bundle was one of their biggest selling systems of all time. And their Black Ops 3 bundle is one of their biggest selling systems of all time. And now they get all three in 1 year. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Like I said before that. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, here I am predicting that Nintendo's going to win NPD in the holiday.
Here's the thing. If they can produce enough, they win. That's my prediction.
You think Sony, so, though? I mean, they're going up against Sony's heavy hitters. Those marketing deals.
When does Mario Odyssey come out?
No, October 27th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
That's going to be interesting if they do bundle that, or that would be interesting to switch into.
I think we'll see a Zelda bundle, a Mario Kart bundle, or an ARMS bundle.
Splatoon, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe Splatoon.
If they wanted to go in hard for Black Friday, a double bundle with Splatoon and ARMS.
Zelda bundle would fly off the shelves.
Or honestly, man, a Rocket League bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have that as part of the bundle.
Yeah, throw that in.
But
like you said, that comes down to whether they have the supply.
Nintendo's issue is, can they make enough? I
Right.
think if they can make the 18 million they predict, Nintendo wins with bundles and stuff in the holiday, with PlayStation close behind. And we might see an initial Xbox win when the Scorpio comes out in the initial burst of every Microsoft fan upgrading.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it propelling them to an overall NPD victory win. I'm prepared to be wrong. It's happened before, but I would be surprised.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. With the Switch in play now this year, and plus the 3 big games that Sony has, if they can, and if they do custom, bundles with those, I don't see Xbox winning any month the rest of this year, which is understandable, and that's it's realistic.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that, it's not a good system and it's not fun to play on. So, people just need to be real about it.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about who wins or not, but it's still a great system.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell, I'm playing Rise right now. Having fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I've been gaming. I've been like all over my backlog in Xbox the last month or so.
You want to know what's crazy though? We keep talking about all these third-party bundles, but we forget that Sony's biggest franchise of all time is also coming out this holiday. Like, Forza may have better features than Gran Turismo, but there's never been a Gran Turismo that hasn't sold less than 5 million.
That's true. That is very true.
And that's also coming out this holiday. They could do a Gran Turismo bundle.
That big install base, they're hungry for one of those.
I was surprised we didn't see that though at E3.
Yeah. It was in the pre-show.
The pre-show, but
it was on the pre-show.
Oh, I didn't see the pre-show.
Yeah, they Trojan Horse snuck in like a few interesting titles in that pre-show.
Yeah, their pre-show, they announced Undertale is coming console exclusive to Vita and PS4. That's a huge get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stealth announced a few things, or threw in some stuff. So
they announced. I wrote it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 announcements, and then 5 showcases.
Oh wow!
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Depending on how you look at their show, they probably could have put those in the show when people would have been a little bit happier.
Yeah. Hey, Matt.
That's one of the big surprise.
Matt, Nelson Cody in the live chat wants to know your thoughts on Skyrim on PlayStation VR.
I just saw it. I'm going to type it in right now. Well, actually, I'll just say it. I think it's cool. I think Bethesda's approaching VR really weirdly. Instead of giving us unique experiences, they're shoehorning existing games into it. Also, I'm on the personal opinion that Skyrim needs to die. They have got to move on to something else. Skyrim will not die. It is everywhere. I've seen it in every E3 since I born, I guess. I don't know.
It's coming to Oya soon, too.
I tweeted that out earlier. I said, I think the gaming gods want everybody to keep playing this game because it will not go away.
Actually, I believe it or not, I have not played Skyrim.
Neither have I.
Actually, I'm interested in playing it on the Switch for Zelda, for Link.
That's fair. Yeah, for those that haven't, it's a great option because the portability of it is a smart call. But as someone who's already played it and wasn't a huge fan to begin with, the fact that they keep throwing Skyrim at me, I'm like, come on, man.
It never piqued my interest. I played a little bit of Oblivion, and then I was kind of nah. But funny enough, Fastback just said, Switch may be the one that gets me. Someone
in chat mentioned Ni no Kuni 2, and I want to just rant and rave about how great that is, but I have to give the disclaimer that that's one of my clients, so I am biased towards Ni no Kuni. I do
your bias.
I do the marketing for it, and in this world of journalistic integrity, I will disclose my biases, but it's so good. I don't even.
I really wish that they would do a remaster of Ni no Kuni.
Fun fact: I don't know if you saw the rumor that it's coming to PC.
No, I didn't.
The original Ni no Kuni is coming to Steam.
Oh, nice.
And that may or may not include the PlayStation 4 as well.
Let's hope so.
I know, because I do not want to pull out the PS3 to play that.
I'm just here talking games, man. I'm not here confirming or denying or anything.
I'll take that.
Matt is dropping.
I'll take that.
What'd you say, B-Money?
So we appreciate the nugget, man. We appreciate it.
What do you think about the release date of Ni no Kuni 2, though?
Terrible.
That I can't get my head around.
Why do they do that? I don't understand that. It's coming out in October, right?
November. It's
November.
a week of Call of Duty, I think, or something like that, right?
I feel personally that it is a Rise of the Tomb Raider Titanfall 2 scenario. The flip side of that, and I can see their stance on it, holiday sales, and there's no other RPG in its immediate vicinity in either month, October or December. It is the only RPG, but it's still a November release for a niche Japanese title.
Right.
And while I get that, this year alone has proven that the January to April launch period, Japan dominated, and they were very successful.
Yep.
And Bandai Namco themselves, with Tales of Berseria, the new Naruto game, and the new Digimon game, and then Dark Souls 3, they had 4 games in a 5-week span. And they had no competition, and they just mopped up, and every game was successful. So I don't know why they didn't do that and release it in like January 2018, but there's still hope. They can still delay it. Who knows?
Hope somebody shakes them and says, "Hey, yeah, you should move this game for real." Because that game will probably destroy, relatively speaking, early 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So
guys, real quick, I want to go to because we talked a little bit about Rocket League and Rocket League coming to the Nintendo Switch. So as you guys know,
that niche game, Rocket League.
Yeah, that niche game, soccer cars, game that no one plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I just people say fanboys say the most ridiculous things. That's why I'm laughing.
Oh, they hate it until they get it.
Exactly. Now they're like, "Oh, it's so good."
And they're still saying stupid things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna get crossplay with Rocket League on the Switch, which I think's great. That's phenomenal news for gamers if you want to Nintendo Switch. However, we will not be getting the PlayStation 4 version of the game will not be getting crossplay.
Well, it has it with PC, but not Xbox or Switch.
Not Xbox or Switch. Yes, you're right.
Which, man.
So, Matt, you sound like you have a lot to say about this. So, why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts, and then I'd like to get the rest of the panel's thoughts too, and then I'll
just, as a marketing person, why do they keep letting Jim Ryan do interviews? This man for the past 7 days has done more PR. He is Sony's Don Matrick, and I said on Twitter that if Scooby-Doo pulled his mask off, like Don Matrick going, it's terrible between what he said about backwards compatibility to what he said about crossplay. And the thing is, it's like I get that you have to spin a negative sentiment. Like Sony can't come out and say we don't have PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility because the cell architecture was a piece of horseshit and our network infrastructure just won't allow it. They can't say that, so they have to downplay and be like, people don't like backwards compatibility. Is that true or not? We really don't know. Microsoft could say 50% of people play backwards compatibility, but they will include people that played 5 minutes of one title and never returned. That statistic is nebulous. But it's the way Jim Ryan says it that rubs people the wrong way. If he had just said, we like the ability of our PS2 classics to have trophy support and HD upgrades, and we feel that's a better value to our gamers. PS1 we're looking into. PS3, unfortunately, we have PlayStation Now. It's our workaround because of technology. Yep. Accept it and move on. But the way he says it, like, who wants to play shitty-looking games anyway? It's like, no. You can't say that and then have one of your biggest E3 announcements be Shadow of the Colossus.
Right.
That does not work.
And you can't say that when people look back on the PlayStation library fondly.
Right. Like, you can't be like, here's Crash. We're bringing Crash back, but we hate old games. And then his crossplay thing, you just say, look, the PlayStation Network, we are afraid of hacks. It really fucked us over in the past. So opening up our infrastructure to other companies that invites things we are not comfortable with, people would understand that. They would still be upset, but it would be a much more palatable answer than we want to. The way he phrased it was, we want to keep children safe. Like, no, you don't. Shut up. That's a dumb answer.
Right.
Real quick, I want to go ahead and actually read what he said because, and by the way, I view him more as the Sean Spicer of Sony.
No, but the problem is if Sean Layden or Andrew House or Mark Cerny were fielding those questions, we would get an answer that would not cause this amount of issues.
Probably.
Yeah, like, are they that busy with E3 where they no one's pulled him yet? Like, hold on.
I feel at this point, companies or journalists are going after Jim Ryan because they know they're going to get a gem that explodes.
Right.
Yeah. So his response or his answer to the question was, we've got to be mindful of our responsibility to our install base. Minecraft, the demographic playing that, as well as I do, it's all ages, but it's also very young. So, not when I first read that, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, young? We're talking about Nintendo. Nintendo just okayed this.
Yeah.
I mean, what? What is going on here?
Well, there's no chat in Rocket League, right?
No, there's chat.
No, I mean you can party chat over your particular network, but I mean there's no. Well, okay, I guess I'm just wondering. I know Nintendo is not big on chat, so.
Yeah, well, he's saying that exposing what in many cases are children to external influences, we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully.
Yeah. No, yeah. Bottom line is Nintendo's very big on that, and they okayed it. So,
Yeah, and then and Eurogame pointed out to him, they're like, Nintendo's okay with this, and he's like, yeah, that's true. Everybody has to take their own decisions. We'll do that. Like I say, we have no philosophical stance against crossplay at all. What?
Wow.
Clearly, you do.
Right? Yeah, it's like
I hate video games.
Nell Sconey said on chat that you have to sign into Xbox Live to play Minecraft on the Switch because it's a Microsoft game now.
Oh,
Maybe that has something to do with it.
That would make sense with Minecraft. I could see why Sony may not want that. Considering you have to sign on to Microsoft servers, so. But I think it's a shame for PlayStation owners. I mean, John brought this up when we were on with Rand the other night. That for the company that says it's for the players, this isn't really for the players.
No,
it's kind of against the players.
Their logo is working against them this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I mean, it sounds like I guess everyone's in agreement here. You guys think that Sony should do this at some point?
Yeah.
I think the pressure's on now that Nintendo's on board. I think they've already agreed with PC. I think if enough games start losing out because they don't have it, that's why competition is good. It's going to force it.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be a while.
Yeah. B-Money, what were you going to say, man?
I was going to say, I think we all agree, but I think what it's going to take for Sony to do it is just a couple more big games to allow crossplay. And then it'll force their hand to do it. You know what I mean? Right now they're sitting comfortable. They don't really have a choice. You know what I mean? They can kind of do whatever they want, but if a couple more big games jump on board, then it'll force their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I wonder if they weren't.
Who do you think?
Wait, what?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they weren't the market leader, if they if they would be more inclined to allowing crossplay.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think half of Microsoft's initiatives between Game Pass and EA Access and crossplay and backwards compatibility were born from behind. I mean, when you look about it, PS3 was really behind. That's where we got PlayStation Plus. They needed to entice people back.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fastback, what were you gonna say, man?
Love
I
that.
forgot. No
No,
worries.
I was thinking, what big game? Maybe like a EA, Madden, 2K,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think the sports games probably have the biggest chance to do it, just because they're now
Yeah.
really getting big into like esports and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it would make more sense to have crossplay eventually. You know what I mean, for those games, and a lot of those games aren't on PC, so you don't have like
It's a very
any
good one.
direct competition as far as like competitive edge or anything like that. So it would make sense, but who knows if they go that route or not.
Big dogs don't share their bones, man.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm joking.
All I know is that crossplay on the Switch, Rocket League. I want to see the Mario Kart stuff in there. I'm ready for that.
I think that's that's gonna happen, man. That's too enticing not to, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it definitely is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes too much sense.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, did you guys see the comment, the interview with Phil Spencer about people don't care about 60 frames a second? Gamers don't care about 60 frames a second.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
Yeah, I didn't see the whole interview, but was that taken out of context?
No, the guy asked, why does it feel like you and Sony only hype up the 4K aspect and not 60 frames per second, which actually matters to gameplay? And he was like, well, people care about graphics, but 60 frames per second, not so much.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. They're having an interesting week.
Well, I almost wonder if he was talking more in terms of like the average gamer.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Like the majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was basically saying like people care about graphics, and it's true. Like most gamers don't know the difference between 60 to 30 frames per second. They just play their games.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the argument the guy whoever's doing the interview, I think the argument he was making was, well, if there's a frame rate drop, they'll notice it. They may not know what it is, but they'll know something's wrong or something to that effect. So I think that was kind of the argument he was making. But I understand.
He also was like, he was just saying essentially, look, you've made such a big deal about your monster, this chip. It's the most powerful console, but you're already having games right now not run at 60 frames per second. He's like, why work so hard to make a powerful beast and hype it as such if you are not going to mandate 60 frames per second? And then Phil made a very good point where he was like, mandating anything for developers is a terrible idea. We're just not going to do it. So
Yeah.
he stressed that they're going to run better and look better.
Mm-hmm.
He just said most gamers don't care about 60 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
I would say most casual gamers probably don't care about that.
Yeah.
Well, that is what they focus on.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember a few years back when the PS4 and Xbox One came out, and I had a buddy of mine, old coworker, young guy, and we were talking about Madden, and because he had both an Xbox One and PS4, and I said, well, you're going to get on Xbox One so we can play? He said, no, I'm gonna get on the PS4, and I said, why? He said, because it looks better. So, just looks better. So that's what most gamers,
Graphics, yeah. That's a great point. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, it's why they talk about resolution, HDR, and they hype up the graphics and stuff and the res. So it's the obvious thing, I mean, I remember growing up as a gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same thing with us. I mean, I remember when the first time I fired up the Sega Genesis and played Altered Beast, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, look at those graphics.
Yeah.
Man, we made the jump from Atari to like Duck Hunt. That was amazing.
Man, people don't know what we saw.
Yeah, they don't know the real struggle, man.
No. But the flip side of that coin, man, is like I have a cousin who's a PlayStation gamer. That's just his ecosystem. That's what he loves. It's not about hating one over the other. It's just what he prefers, right? And he called me up one day. He said, "What's the difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro?" And I was explaining it to him, and he said, "So, bottom line, do I need it?" He asked, "Do I need it?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." I said, "Unless you're going to go buy a 4K TV." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And that was it.
Yeah.
But he had really, that was it for him. He's like, okay.
Well, can I ask you guys a question, and then I guess throw it the chat as well?
Yeah.
Have Sony or Microsoft, either one, convinced you that getting a 4K TV and upgrading is a worthy investment of your money?
Not yet.
No. Not yet.
That's my philosophy. I haven't bought a Pro yet, and then they want me to drop $500. I don't have a 4K TV yet.
Right.
I plan on getting one this year, but I don't feel the urge to upgrade, especially knowing in the back of my head, logically, that in 2 or so years, we're going to have a true generation jump.
Right.
Facts.
Yep.
And that's what I'll save my money for.
Matt, that's a great point. I'm in the same boat with you guys. They haven't convinced me to buy a 4K TV. And the other issue with 4K is that content-wise, there's not a lot of 4K content out right now. I mean, like when I go to my local Best Buy and I go to the DVD section, I mean, the Ultra HD Blu-ray section, it's a little sparse.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more stuff coming out, but it's not anywhere near from what I remember.
Streaming,
when I bought
right? Netflix,
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, look, I have a problem. I have a problem with streaming 1080p too. Like, it just doesn't look as good. I mean, if you're gonna I always feel like if you're gonna I don't like streaming 1080p because the picture quality doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as sharp to me as physical. I think that has something to do with the bit rate, if I'm not mistaken. Or am I pulling that out?
Well, it's compression also, but you also look at your cable company, man. Most cable companies are still rocking 1080i.
Yeah.
Well,
what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Yeah, and I know people are like, oh, well, the upscales. Yeah, but it's not native.
And people don't even know what the hell that means. They say it most of the time. Upscales. Like, okay.
So and Matt, you bring up a great point. I mean, we're probably 2 or 3 years away from a real next gen console. And I said this to you, Eric. I would rather just wait it out because look, I'm not missing out on any games.
Right. If there were
that's the point.
Pro
that's the difference.
And 1X games, yeah, that'd be more compelling. But because they're just upgrades and not new systems, it's just the urge isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know how much we're going to get into the actual games that were shown from each conference or whatever, but I was saying before we came on, I said if there was no X, right, and you watched Microsoft's show, and I went back and watched it again, because I know sometimes you have knee-jerk reactions to certain things, because of course, like I said, we were expecting all these different things to happen. So I went back and watched it, and I said, there's a lot of games in there that I really want to play, right? And if they didn't have to talk about the X, if that wasn't a thing, you would walk away from that show saying, man, they're back in form, because that's a very diverse lineup of games. But that's not the narrative or the story that they went into E3 with. Their narrative from a year ago was the beast is coming, it's a monster. And all the way up until they went live with their show, you had executives tweeting chips and, fever pitch. So you come out of there and you're kind of like, I didn't see anything in there that made me say I have to have this thing at 500 right now. And 500 isn't even the issue. It's just that I don't see anything that makes me need to have it. Same with the Pro when that happened. I was like, okay, takes nothing away from their games. And actually, they had a really good show when you kind of go back and watch it. There's a lot of fun-looking games in there, great-looking games. So yeah. So if you're judging just on having an Xbox One, you're good. If that's the only console that you have, you should be okay. You're good.
Yeah, you're good for now. And I have no problem with the X and the Pro. I like the option that it's there.
Exactly.
So,
options are always there.
And I will get a 4K TV, most likely next year around Super Bowl time. I want to see what the TVs.
That's the best time.
The TVs that are out this year, they're going to be cheaper. But I even go back to last gen when 1080p came into play, and even the 360 and that PS3, they've always had that option, right? Once they say, hey, here's the HDMI, hook it up, you can see the difference. So I didn't get into 1080p until probably 08, end of 08, 09. And as soon as I hooked that HDMI wire from 360, I'm like, okay, I saw a difference.
Right.
That's good. And I think you will see, my Coopin, he's in the chat, my buddy. When we game, he got a 4K TV. He saw the difference, and there is a difference.
Absolutely.
But there's no need right now. I got to go do it because, like we've all been saying, the games are not there. They're not there yet. Saying 4K 60 or but a couple years they will be. And so we all of us will probably be already on board.
And there is definitely a difference in HDR and 4K and all that. You know, when you see it, there is a difference. You can't deny that. But I would argue, or not even argue, I would say, when we had that jump from standard def to HD and gaming, like at the beginning of the 360 generation and going into PS3, that was game changing stuff. Like holy crap! And I think
the dashboard looked better, and
it went from looking at muddy pool water to having the pool man clean you up, hook you up. So it was like a major difference. I think 4K is going to become the standard as things are moving forward here, but I just don't know.
It's just early.
It's very early, and I don't know if it's just that major jump that people had when they started getting HD TVs, And I always joke about it and say it's back in the day when you needed 4 of your friends to move your TV. Now you walk into Walmart, put one in the shopping cart, and you're on your way, So, yeah, things progress, things change. So, but I know, like for me personally, I know people say like, well, the X has super sampling, so to make your 1080p better. I just know me personally, like if I'm gonna get the X, I want the 4K the day of. Right. I want to see that. I want to hit that switch and be like, here we go. So since I don't have the 4K set, I'm still not as apt to jump out there and do it yet.
Yeah.
If I had a 4K laying around, I might be like, oh, maybe I'll do it because
Yeah.
And that's the majority of us, and then you got the casuals,
Yeah.
So I don't care. Like my cousin, he's like, I'm not buying any TV. I just got this TV.
Yeah. Very true. Well, gentlemen, I want to go into E3 and kind of get everyone's thoughts. Get everyone's thoughts on what they thought was the best of show and the worst of what they saw. And we talked about the we did a podcast over the week about Microsoft show, and kind of give our thoughts on that. But Matt, why don't we go with you, man? What was your best of show, man? Like what did you see that got you really excited, and then what did you see that you were kind of like, eh?
So like game wise,
yes, and actually game wise, yep.
I actually just broke down my top 10 of E3. So I actually have that in order. I sat down and thought about it, so I could quickly just list those off real quick.
Go ahead, man.
Yep.
All right, I'll start from 10 up. Far Cry 5, Assassin's Creed Origins, Ori Will of the Wisp, God of War, Anthem, Super Mario Odyssey, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Wolfenstein New Colossus, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle at number 2, which might be a shock, but I love strategy RPGs, and that one just looked phenomenal. And number 1 is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Good list.
Yeah.
And what got you least excited?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me pull that out. Sea of Thieves. That demo really did nothing for me. Was up there. I think Monster Hunter World, while I think is a really good announcement and will be fun, that demo was very poor.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, even though I know it'll be a fun game, Battlefront 2, that was a terrible way to demo it.
Yep.
They had the voice actress for the campaign character come out and introduce it. They showed Finn be like, hey, I helped create campaign for the game. They did a montage of people saying, where's campaign? And then they give us 30 minutes of the multiplayer and none of the campaign. It boggled my mind that they thought that was a good idea. So,
sure.
Womp womp. And the thing is, like, games that I think are like bad, I just think they demo poorly.
Yeah.
I think they'll still be fun. I think the worst game is Just Dance 2018, but that's because I am not its target audience, and so it doesn't mean anything.
All right. What was there anything that you wish you would have that was shown that you didn't see in terms of games?
Like things that I wish had been there?
Yeah.
A lot of Sony's absences, I think, because we know From Software has a game, we know Sucker Punch has a game,
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them were shown, and I know that probably means Gamescom or PSX or Tokyo Game Show. Sony has to spread their announcements out, but I still kind of wish they were there. I'm chomping at the bit to see what Sucker Punch is working at because it's a new IP.
Yep. Yeah, I think we all are.
It definitely needed one big announcement. I think they would have been okay. I think they had a solid show, but we knew everything that was coming besides the remake of Shadow of Colossus and then the Monster Hunter World. But other than that, I mean, we knew their entire show. I think if they would have had one big surprise, they would have been okay. I think everybody in the crowd was just waiting, after Spider-Man ended. Everybody just kind of sitting there looking, hoping for one big surprise, and it just didn't happen.
It's like going to see a Marvel movie. You're like waiting after the credits, like something's coming up.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, that list is pretty on.
Yeah. What about so? What did you think of the shows, though, Matt? Like, how would you rank the shows?
I've got the ranks in my mind, and I know a lot of people, and this is slightly hypocritical because the reason this goes first in my mind is, and all they showed was a logo. But man, Super Metroid is my second favorite game of all time, and so the return of not one but two Metroid games helps propel Nintendo to number one because Mario goes great. I'm in love with the Rabbids game, and then they stealth were like, oh, by the way, we're making a true Pokemon game for the Switch. That helped make Nintendo's number one for me because it was just 25 minutes. It was like, boom, Xenoblade comes out this year. Boom, Mario. Boom, Kirby, Yoshi, Metroid. It was just bam, 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 bam. And compared to their previous years, comparatively, the jump in quality of their show, shocking. Yes. This was the first time Nintendo's ever been in the contention for they had the best showing. After that, I would go Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, EA, in that order. Mm-hmm. Sony above Microsoft because while Microsoft had a great showing with a ton of games, every game can be played on PC, and the lion's share will eventually make it to PlayStation. So it wasn't a really good showcase of why you need an Xbox. Whereas Sony's, I did the count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 17 of the games shown at Sony are only PlayStation games. You can only play them on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. So I think Sony's did a better job of showing why you need a PlayStation, and Xbox just did a good job of showing games that are going to be good, not necessarily on Xbox.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of what edged it out for me with the PlayStation show. I don't know, people were arguing, saying, well, it was like a repeat of last year. Sort of like, well, last year they were more like announcements, and this year they kind of fleshed out and showed you what these will actually kind of play like and look like.
Right. Like, we wanted to see gameplay for God of War, Spider-Man, Detroit, stuff like that. Right.
And I think if they did have like one new announcement, which I guess the rumor was, Sucker Punch was like you said was supposed to be there. But I think they had an issue with something that I heard. So I think if they had that one big new announcement in there. And
that's what they were missing, was that big surprise.
Yeah.
And then, the VR segment was kind of long, but that depends on who you are. If you're a person that's into it, it wasn't long for you. If you're really not into it, then it was a little bit long. But they also have to show it. They have a product out there.
I liked it because as an owner of PlayStation VR, Sony has a notorious habit of abandoning peripherals after a year.
Right.
It shows that a year after PlayStation VR, they announced 6 brand new first-party VR titles. Like, that's pretty...
I thought that was very deliberate. I thought they were saying, I know we have that history, and I know people are saying that, but no, we're supporting it. So... But that kind of edged out PlayStation for me too, for that same fact. But I like a lot of the games that I saw at Xbox. But I think I said that to somebody on Twitter. I said, who felt that they won? I'm like, winning, losing, it's all in your personal taste. I said, Sony to me showed me more of the games that I like to play. But there's a ton I want to play on Microsoft from their show. But at the end of it, I was kind of like, but all those games will also be on PlayStation, on top of the fact that the cherry on top is PlayStation has all these exclusives. There's a lot to be said about that.
Real quick, speaking of VR, Ryan McCaffrey just tweeted out that Moss plays great on PSVR. He says that it makes you feel like you're in space, good gameplay, and then he put adorable.
Oh,
he said it was surprisingly one of his favorite games he's played at the show.
Yeah, and I didn't know that was ex-Bungie developers that were behind that game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
So
I thought it was pretty shocking though. Like you said, Matt, we didn't think there was going to be a Metroid announcement. Then you got 2.
Oh man! And that was also bonus points for Nintendo. It also makes them seem less of a dick for canceling, like cease and desisting a fan game.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't just taking it down to be dicks. It was, hey guys, we actually do have a remake of our own of Metroid 2. We need to take yours down. They obviously couldn't announce it, but looking back, they come off as less asshole-ish now.
yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ubi was up there too for me because from a nostalgia standpoint, the minute they started with the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, my feeling on that was they, in that show, their whole showing just to me encompassed the spirit of gaming. You know, why we like gaming, why we love gaming. And then when, you know, Michelle Ancel came out crying.
Right.
Proud developer, man.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
That's a moment where you kind of like, you stick it back in the face of people who say devs are lazy and don't care. You know, it's like when people put art out there to be judged, if you're not a person that does that, you know, you have no idea how that feels to be like, have people kind of tear you apart, you know. So when you get a moment when you've created something that people have been begging you for, and you were finally able to show some of it. And I know they didn't show gameplay because that's the next thing like our, you know, negative world of gaming did. Oh, we didn't see gameplay. It was just a CGI trailer. It's like, shut up. You know, honestly, we'll get to that point, but for now, let's just have this moment. You know? Yeah.
So Eric, what were your since you have the mic, what were your favorite games in out of E3?
The new the new Metro look, from what we saw on that, looked pretty cool.
That did look cool.
Yeah. It looks like they're definitely taking more of an open world. Again, you know, you can argue that too, that everything has to be open world, but depends on how they go about it. Definitely happy to get some Dishonored 2 DLC. Evil Within 2, I've never finished the first one, but that game looks so out there. I'm like, man, he's giving Kojima a run for his money in a way, in the horror type aspect. But it still look cool. Ori, for sure. I'm going off the top of my head because I didn't write down a list or anything. Ashen, Spider-Man, hands down. I'm a Spider-Man nut, so that was awesome. Days Gone looks like it's coming along nicely. And looks interesting. God of War for sure. And
boy. Yeah. Like it reversed with boy.
But you know what? There's just a ton of stuff. I mean, like I said, walking out of that, I'm kind of like, when people were upset about there not being a lot of release dates on certain things, I'm like, good, because I got a lot to catch up on, and it looks like it's not slowing down anymore. It's going to be hitting even harder. But out of the Ubisoft show, I was sitting there, you know, checking that out, and when they showed Skull and Bones, I was like, uh-oh. You know, I was like, oh, Sea of Thieves. And I know they're
the realistic version of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, and I know people say, well, they seem to be two very different types. I'm like, I get that, but they're very similar. You know, and I said, I don't know who has to worry about who, but there's definitely talks going on around those two games.
Mm-hmm. All right. B-Money, what about you, man?
I mean, probably the most exciting announcement was the Beyond Good and Evil 2. That was finally coming back. Big fan of Michelle Ancel. Made one of my favorite platformers, which is Rayman. So it's nice to see him get back to doing what he's doing. I'm pretty happy that Ubisoft is allowing it. I know he has his own studio now and he's still working on WoW, but like the dude is so amazing. So I'm glad to see that was coming back.
Yeah.
Anthem was amazing too. Like I think the one reason why people like kind of laugh at EA and their conference is because like they didn't have Anthem. Like if they would have showed Anthem, like people would have gave EA's conference like more respect. But the fact that it was held to like Microsoft's conference, it's like, you know, the EA conference was trash then.
By the way, Matt, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, Money, but Matt, you brought up a good point about this too. I think the day of the conference, that you thought that EA should have maybe even just saved the whole announcement for Microsoft's conference.
Yeah, I think it was a huge misstep to tell people our new game's Anthem. Check it out tomorrow on Xbox. Because instead of Xbox ending their show on that Ubisoft level surprise, like, hey, we have one more thing to show you. It's BioWare's brand new IP.
Yes.
Anthem, and here's a world premiere gameplay demo. People would have lost their shit. Instead, it was, well, they haven't showed Anthem yet. I guess they're ending the show on it. It robbed both Anthem and Microsoft's conference of that oh wow moment. It didn't detract from the game. Anthem's still a great, but it removed that shock factor that say Spider-Man had last year for Sony, or Metroid had this year for Nintendo, or even Beyond Good and Evil. These surprise announcements that make E3 the exciting event that it is.
Mm-hmm.
We lost that for Xbox. They lost it because EA was determined to just be like, check it out tomorrow. And it didn't ruin the game. Microsoft probably, in a lot of people's minds, would have won E3 a lot more over Sony if that had been a true, like, shock moment.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have expected it.
No. And it's not an exclusive, but you know what? Neither is Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that was still a surprise announcement that blew everyone away because we didn't know it was coming.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if it's an exclusive. If it's showcased on your stage, then in E3 reaction videos and retrospectives from now on, we'll showcase it as one of the big moments of E3. But we didn't get that anymore.
Nope.
Yeah. That's. I just wanted to bring that up because I saw that tweet and somebody jumped in and didn't understand what you were saying. I think got their panties in a bunch. But I got what you were saying, where you're going with that. So I
wasn't hating on the game or Microsoft. Like, the game was great. I just felt like the reveal lost its magic because of it.
Yeah. No, I got what you were saying. He gets a little triggered sometimes, I think.
Who was it?
I don't want to say his name.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'd rather not. He has bulging eyes. I'll leave it at that.
No, but like at the Microsoft conference, I think there were some standout things. A lot of people might have overlooked them, but I think the last night looked pretty good.
Yep.
The Artful Escape looked pretty good as well. Ashen. We interviewed Aurora 44 like 2 years ago when they first announced that game. And it's definitely changed up a little bit from what the way they announced it. Looks like they got a publisher behind it and are vastly improving the game. So looking forward to that. Unruly Heroes, Observer was another one. Dark and Light, Strange Brigade, and Shift were the games that kind of stood out for me at the Microsoft conference. So Microsoft had a pretty solid conference. I think if they would have had, you know, some big AAA IP from first party, I think that would have shifted the boat a little bit for them and probably propelled them a little higher in the rankings for most people. But without that, I mean, they showed a lot of great stuff, Anthem being one of them. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. Code Vein was a good one for them to show off. They showed a lot of diversity, which is good for them. That's something that they need to do, put it on stage so a lot more people can recognize that those games are on Xbox. So overall, I think they had a solid show.
Yeah.
And that Dragon Ball Z is the first time that ever showed with on the Xbox, right? On the E3.
Yeah, that was the first time they ever showed it on E3 stage. Yeah.
All right.
PlayStation, you know, they had a pretty solid show. You know, we kind of knew everything that they were showing. So I mean, it is kind of is what it is. But I thought there's some other games that like a lot of people will probably glance over that, you know, I would have liked to seen on the stage. Vampire being one of them. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be like one of the sleeper hits of this year.
Oh, Vampire looked great.
Who's behind Vampire?
Don't
What?
Nod is making
Yeah, the
that.
people that did Life is Strange.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, like not a lot of people are talking about it, but I think that's definitely going to be like one of the sleeper hits of the year. Now,
Yeah.
I thought, if somebody could have got that on their stage, you know what I mean, give it a little bit more attention, I think a lot more people would be talking about it.
Well, we know it's weird because Don't Nod, Life is Strange, the prequel is getting Xbox marketing, Vampire's getting PlayStation marketing, so they've got both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 10-minute demo they showed at E3 looked amazing.
Yeah. So, but I mean, all in all, I think, like everyone said, I think Nintendo had the best showing just because they kind of hit it out of the park. It was boom, boom, boom. Announcement after announcement, stuff that was coming this year, stuff coming early next year. And then, I think Ubisoft is right up there just because of Beyond Good and Evil 2 coming back. And then Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda. I think Bethesda, like, they had that 30-minute showing. I almost wish that they didn't even show that, to be honest. Like, they could have just announced those games and moved on. But I know they had some crazy party there, which they have been for the past couple of years. So it was kind of the reason of being there. But everybody just stood up, watched them make those announcements, and they just kind of walked away and partied again. It was kind of pointless for them to even have the show, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's true. That's true.
That's why it was only 45 minutes.
Everyone got up. Was like,
party.
yeah, go back to the bar.
yeah. Everybody was just standing in front of the stage. I just thought it was so weird because previous years they had it inside the little helipad or whatever, so it's just it's outside. Everybody just standing around and you make these announcements in 30 minutes or whatever. It's just I don't know. It was just weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And without any big new IP coming, it was just okay, yeah, we got Evil Within 2, we got these games that you pretty much knew were coming.
Yeah,
and they're coming, and kudos to them because they are coming out this year. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of why they made the announcement. But hopefully they have a better showing next year.
All right. Fastback, what about you, man?
Well, I would say, so I'm going to show my top three. Spider-Man's at the top. The way it looked, and plus it's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So plus being Insomniac, I can't wait. That game looks fun. And I would say Anthem is close, almost tied, just the way it looked, and I can't wait to see more of that. And the one that I was the biggest surprise as soon as I saw the pig was Beyond Good and Evil.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun trailer, CGI trailer. That was, the characters, the comedy.
Yeah,
It's I can't wait. I hope that still is. I know it's CGI, but I hope that when the game comes out, it looks good, and then the character personalities and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. And that was my biggest surprise. And probably Ashen is probably one of my. I'm really looking towards that. That looks like it's going to be a nice, complicated game. Unique. When they first showed it, I think it was last year. I picked up my curiosity, and I was kind of disappointed that we weren't hearing anything.
Mm.
So I'm glad what we saw. I think that's coming out early next year. I believe.
Yes.
Sometime.
Yes.
They said 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Cuphead. Can't wait for that.
Finally with a release date.
Metro. Yeah, that's September 29th.
Yeah.
Metro. That I like the way they showed that. Whether or not it was on PC or whatever, I didn't care. But for the first time, I got interested in Metro, just the way that showed. And of course, Sony, God of War 4, Days Gone, Uncharted 4. Is it Legends, right? Is it Uncharted 4 Legends?
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
like
so I look forward to
good.
that because what's her name in there? What's her name in there that was in the Uncharted 4? The one that
Nadine.
was just kicking everybody's ass. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nadine. Yeah, I like her. But yeah, Bethesda. I kind of fell asleep at the beginning, and then when they finally got to Evil Within, that woke me up. I was like, "Oh shit, what's this?"
then
So
the
that
part-
looked good. Not really big into horror games, but yeah, Evil Within looked good, and then Wolfenstein. So I was like,
man,
that looked
Wolfenstein.
better than what the last ones, and it looked like it has a bigger story to it. So that woke me up. As far as let's see, EA disappointed me.
I think it
Like y'all
disappointed
said, the
everybody.
showing for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Actually, I was more interested in Way Out, than I was. That one showed better.
That was my favorite game at that conference.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Need for Speed 2 is like, okay, looks good. I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it up when it goes on sale one day, but I think they had the weakest show. Especially, I was disappointed, and it was a far-fetched, but I was hoping to see maybe a teaser or something, some talk of Visceral and maybe Respawn their Star Wars games, because I'm big Star Wars, so.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we would see something from them.
Yeah.
At least something from.
And then, like, just a teaser, please, especially since Star Wars is coming out this year. Going back to Xbox, Forza 7 looked great and everything, but I'm not interested in it unless I kind of like, maybe if I had the Xbox One X, I would pick it up just because how it looks. But other than that, I think because I love cars, the driving racing games. I think Crew 2 would probably be that one for this year. Because some of the guys like Mike from NOG, he liked the first one, which I didn't really care for, but that one actually looked fun. All around, cars, boats, planes. So, but I think overall, to me, I think the Xbox and Sony were both on. I was satisfied with them both. I can't really put one about the other because there were games in both that I'm like, yep, I got to get those.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be broke.
Facts.
I think Xbox, I like the way they talk games, they talk hardware, which I know, everybody's like, but I like the way the Xbox One X looked. And then they talk features and the OG, Xbox back compat. That appeals to me because there were games that I didn't play on that. There's some good games that I look forward to. So
I think that announcement would have been bigger if they would have announced more games that were readily available or games that we knew that were coming. The fact that they were just like,
yeah,
here, Crimson Skies is one of them, but like nothing else beyond that library. So we don't even know what's going to work.
There was bigger games than that. I mean, KOTOR and some of the other games that I've heard that are
even address like how they'll be readily available, or something to that regard. Because I mean, how many of us have those laying around?
I think they'd be available digital too. I think they come out and say that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so.
I
think digital and
it would be digital. I'm just curious, like pricing or anything like that. So, but I'm sure they'll talk about that.
I can't imagine those games being too expensive.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I think Ubisoft overall had a good
see how
feel.
much Black Ops 2 cost. It's like $27 right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Why you want
I know
that
the
digital
KOTOR games are expensive.
Yeah, I'm saying I think that's the beauty of the having a digital market now, because it takes sucks for the gougers, or the people who are trying to run like a store. But then when this kind of thing hits, then people start to gouge.
Yeah.
So the digital kind of like levies the playing field a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I know Xbox has mentioned something about if you already have some of those OG Xbox games in your digital library, but I'm like, how many people have OG
Yeah,
Xbox
I got like
games in their
one or
digital library?
two. I have one or two.
I have some. I got it like
From
three
the
or four.
360 days, the early days?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. When there was a couple in there, but yeah. The funny thing with those, they never really went on sale. They were always just like whatever their price was, that's what they usually sat at. So I got like one or two in there. You know, I think it's like the Halo and Psychonauts maybe. So
Yeah.
but it'd be great to get Panzer Dragoon back.
Yeah, I just want to play Jade Empire, man. So
Yep, that one too.
I gonna get it.
Ninja Gaiden.
Little Ninja Guided.
That's I'm off. I mean, I know people kind of go back and forth over BC whether it's important or not, but I don't think there's anything wrong with game preservation.
Right.
I don't either.
It's like it keeps me
Choices.
from having to have a bunch of consoles still laying around, pulling them out, hooking them up or leaving them out, whatever the case may be. So that's great.
Sometimes they don't work.
It keeps that too, because eventually they stop working. But then too, it keeps that historical record of kind of where we came from.
Yep.
And not everybody's going to go back to experience those, but the nostalgia is a powerful thing for people. Sometimes you go back and you're like, ooh, I'm not going back in there again. But but it's a good thing to have it.
Yeah.
If another moment, because there's so many great games that are trapped behind, consoles that we have no access to anymore, or means to play it. So I'll never be too hard on BC. Only time I get hard on BC is when people overhype things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're using it for sell their agenda. So
exactly, for the agenda stuff, and I'm like, really? Come on, man. It's like at the end of the day, we buy new consoles for the new games. The BC should be, the French fries. They go with the burger, but you guys act like it's the main draw. It is something weird when that's like the biggest.
It's gotta be waffle fries.
Well, we can get into that, but but it is something to be said when it's like your biggest thunderous and most thunderous applause at your E3 show.
Yeah. Yeah. So Fastback, what else for you, man? E3, is that it?
I forgot Strange Brigade that B had talked about that. When I first saw that trailer before, earlier in the week, I was like, hey, this looks good. And then when they showed more, and then I heard some good reviews about it. So that's on my list. Anybody know when that coming out? That sometime next year?
Let's see.
I'm not sure
I
if
haven't
they
heard
put a date
on that.
Yeah.
But that which was surprising. I give credit to Microsoft, Xbox, that they are going even though they didn't have any. I was hoping for at least one AAA first party. So we didn't get that, and I know we had talked about maybe Splinter Cell coming, maybe Fable 4.
Apparently,
something.
Apparently, Splinter Cell's a real thing.
Yeah,
people have played it.
Yeah. Randolph Torres said he knows people that's played it.
And
maybe Ubisoft is just not ready for that.
Yeah. They came out and said after their showing that they have not forgotten about Splinter Cell.
I hope not.
So yeah.
But overall, I'm satisfied. I figure I'm getting some good games from Xbox, indie games, and then I'm getting some big AAA games on the PS4. And it doesn't matter to me. They're coming out early next year. Early next year, you look at Xbox has looked at Sony, and maybe they decided, okay, see if these, let's not rush it out. And I forgot about State of K 2. I'm big on that. I enjoyed the first one, but I'm glad it's coming out next year. Sea of Thieves. Hopefully, Ori too. See, I even forgot about that too. So I think that one's early next year also. So I mean, I'm broke and I'm ready.
Hey, but let's talk about
Pat. So
right, but let's talk about the fact that the indie thing has completely flip flopped. Microsoft was throwing them out there, and Sony's sort of that's not really their thing right now.
I think a part of that is that Microsoft needed to pad out the fact that they didn't have first-party stuff.
Yeah.
And Sony, all those indies are going to hit Sony as well. They
Mm.
had
Oh, yeah.
they had Indie Focus in their pre-show,
Hmm.
but I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the conferences when we got an Indie sizzle reel.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you watch any of the videos
Well,
of
do
people
you
walking
think-
around the floor, they still have a lot of the indies in the PlayStation section.
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
majority of them are on the PlayStation.
Yeah, they do.
section.
Okay.
And see, people know that, so they didn't really have to push that,
Right.
because they have all these other games. I was, as far as the Sony, I think overall that was a great conference. I like the way I'm not into PSVR, but I like the way they showed the games because they brought it out to where we can look at it and we're like, hey, that looks interesting, looks good,
Mhm.
instead of showing somebody on stage or a video of someone with the headset on and they're playing. You see the screen
Cool.
there. It's like that doesn't really work for me. But it would have been
Hey.
nice if they did a montage of that. So
Hey, Fastback, real quick, man. I mean, interrupt you.
Yeah.
Matt's gonna get going.
no, it's right. Okay.
Yeah, Matt. Hey, thank you again, man, for coming by tonight, man.
No, thank you guys for
Yeah,
letting me
thanks,
jump
Matt.
on. I love talking games with people, and anyone in chat or listening, hit me up on Twitter, Nola Nerdcast, and let's talk games. That's what I do.
Awesome, man. And
Yeah.
do you want to go ahead and plug Nolan Nerdcast? Because I know you guys go live same day we do.
Same day, but I'm moving up the timetable so that there's less competition and people don't have to choose. No, Nerdcast is every Wednesday, but we split our time between comics, movies, and games. So we run the gamut, and we monitor chat and any topic people want to talk about. We switch over to that. So if you just like talking nerdy shit, it's kind of what we're here for. But I always love jumping on with you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
it's always
you,
good to have you, bro.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
always, man.
Like, yeah.
yeah, we love having you on, man. Thank you again, Matt.
Bye.
All right, see you, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, so Fastback, I'm sorry. You were saying something about
Yeah,
VR.
just real quick, as far as the Sony, I wish they would have the PSVR. I wish they would have made that more of a montage,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to see a bigger presence of the Star Wars Battlefront since EA didn't do it, but they,
Mm.
I wanted to see more of that, and also Destiny 2. I wanted to see more of that, and it just seemed like those were kind of quiet. The Call of Duty, I think that got some good buzz, but
The weird
I mean,
thing,
as far as the big marketing that they had on those, I don't think it was a big presence. God of War 4 and Spider-Man kind of and Days Gone kind of took the show.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, man?
yeah, I was gonna say the weird thing about like Sony's E3 this year is that they really focused on like their whole PlayStation Live thing. So for like the past couple of days, like they've done like in-depth videos of like Destiny. I think they played it for like 40 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And then even like Battlefront, they did like a long playthrough for that. So a lot of the stuff that like people really want to see on their show, they just throwing it on like their PlayStation Live. So shout out to Malik Forte, like used to be on Nerdist, really cool dude. He's part of PlayStation Live and doing a lot of the great interviews over there. But they've showed a lot of stuff that people really want to see in PlayStation Live instead of putting it on a show. So it's really weird how they did it because they had a pretty good pre-show. They did an hour-long E3 presentation, and now they have all this other content afterwards instead of trying to cram everything into 90 minutes like they usually do. So I don't know if they wanted to take that approach and thought that would be successful, but a lot of people are kind of complaining about it. So maybe they switch it up again next year.
Yeah.
But you would think, I mean, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you almost would think that maybe Sean Layden would say, hey, we have even more. Yeah, or did he say that? I don't even remember him saying that.
No, he didn't say anything
I
about
can't
it.
remember.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah, because I had no clue that they were still doing, stuff like that. So everyone's kind of taking the Nintendo Treehouse approach.
Yeah. It seems to be even Xbox has
Yeah.
the Xbox Live every day event where they do different interviews and stuff and have playthroughs. So everybody's trying to go that route. I think it definitely reaches more people. Who really want to see it because it's kind of archived there and people can kind of have something to do and have the whole E3 experience throughout the week or whatever. But I don't know. maybe they'll see some success with it. Maybe they won't, and they'll switch back to what they're doing.
Mm.
All right.
Oh yeah, and I can't believe that I forgot about Nintendo. I did. I'm glad that I get to see more Odyssey. About the Rocket League, and then the Skyrim. So, yeah, I enjoyed that. I got to watch that at lunch at work, so didn't take long, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
And like I think Pete, you said that they can do a whole lot with 30 minutes, and they did.
They did,
Yeah,
man.
they did.
Yeah. Yeah, I was excited to see Metroid Prime, even though they didn't show anything. And then ARMS, I'm interested in ARMS. Even the other Mario game, the Yoshi one, that one looked good. I can get that for my little one and play that myself too. So
yeah, and Kirby's returned back to form, so it's back to just standard size roller. So
there was that other one too that was interesting, the kind of like behind the scenes. So you can go back and play the old, the regular Mario ones, and then go on around the backstage of the. That was interesting too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
too many games.
Yeah, way too many games.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining, just a lot of games.
No.
So what was your favorite game, Enrique? How do you feel about E3?
Oh man, good question. E3 sucked. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I gotta be honest with you. I thought that the Megaton for me was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah.
Especially because there was reports that Ubisoft even said it's not going to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they actually said that before E3 kicked off. So that kind of killed it for me. I'm like, it's not going to be there, and then it's there. So in terms of games, geez, man, so many games. I tell you what, Days Gone. I really enjoyed the demo they showed. Of course, God of War looked phenomenal. Ori and the Blind Forest 2. I think Fastback. You mentioned Ashen. Ashen's actually looks really good. God, what else? So many games. I can't remember all the games now. Super Mario Odyssey looked amazing. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. I was really big on that. Mario. I can't even talk. The Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. That looked good too.
Yeah,
and Assassin's Creed Origins, Anthem. Oh man, I tell you what, Call of Duty actually kind of caught my attention a little bit. And I haven't been into Call of Duty in a long time. It looked pretty good. The campaign did, at least from what I saw. What else? I can't wait for NBA Live. It's a joke.
NBA Live looks like such garbage, man.
The characters look like plastic. It's terrible. It's like they borrow the what's the engine Bethesda uses? They borrow Bethesda's engine.
Oh terrible. Man.
But you know what, man? It's like your characters look like caricatures, so you might as well have done NBA Street.
Right. What else?
Imagine if they would have announced NBA Street and stuff.
Oh man, they would have blown that place up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It would have been so much better. It would have been a way better announcement. Just announce that EA Big is back.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should bring EA Big back.
And can you imagine? Yeah, I mean, because now they can do soccer too.
Yeah.
I love the snowboarding games.
Just bring EA Big back. They could have so much fun with that, and just release the games. Don't gotta be $60. Just release them at like $30 or $40.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go crazy for them, man.
That is so true, man. What else? Shadow of the Colossus. I was really excited to see that. The new Metro game. What am I missing? I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see Sucker Punch. But I heard that game they were having some technical difficulties with it. So And in terms of the conferences, I guess, for me, Nintendo took the show. I thought they had the best conference. I mean, Mario Odyssey that game's gonna sell like hotcakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna. I mean, it looks so good. It looks so good. And then they announced the 2 Metroid games. They just had to me they had the best conference. New Kirby, they had the best conference, I thought.
Yeah.
And I would say that if I had to put it in order, I would say Nintendo, Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, EA.
Yeah.
That's how I'd rank it.
You know what's so crazy though? It's like EA has the potential to have like amazing conferences.
Yeah.
But they mess it up every single year. Every single year. Like they have a great slate of games, but they mess it up every single year.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. They kind of let us down every year.
Yeah, they had the YouTuber and the other guy trying to read off the prompter.
Yep.
Yeah, like I didn't know what was going on. Like, dude, like why you even on here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to point out what Nils just said about because I thought the same thing too about Sony with PSX. Like, maybe E3 is not that draw anymore. Like they kind of like here's some of the stuff we talked about last year, and then they put more focus into PSX to announce all the other stuff that they're going to have coming.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you look at the last PSX with them announcing The Last of Us 2, that's a huge announcement to just have at a show that's at the end of the year like that. You know what I mean?
That was like an E3 announcement.
Yeah, that's an E3 announcement.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And how many consoles did that sell? Just that announcement alone, probably.
Yeah. And where are you going to get the most
That's
thunder
what Sony
from
does.
that? In a concentrated room of your own fan base.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Sean in the live chat says, "Don't worry about PSX boys. Sony is saving announcements."
Oh, I bet they are, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that they got the feedback of, 2015?
Yeah.
When all that VR garbage going on. I think they got that feedback.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. Because the first year was dope, and that second year was like, ugh.
Second year was bad.
Last year was on point.
Last year felt like it was better than. Well, no, their E3 show last year was good, but it felt like E3.
It was on par. It was on par.
Yeah.
With the E3 show. It was like E3 2.0.
So, and I'm sure they got feedback from people about how they may have felt about this year's E3. So I'm sure they'll probably bring it. And then they still got Tokyo Game Show.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft still has Gamescom.
Yep.
So.
Oh, you know what?
But they confirmed that they were actually having a show at Gamescom, or they're just going to be there?
No, I'm just kind of going along with what I saw like immediately after, with people kind of hey, wait till Gamescom, wait till E3 2018. And I was like, oh, stop it.
Look, people got to stop. Wait till E3 2020.
Man. The bus is too late, man.
What's that be?
What'd you say, B?
The bus is late, man. I can't wait too much longer, man.
It's raining out here, man.
I gotta be honest. There's too many damn good games coming out to be waiting.
Yeah.
It is, man.
Why am I gonna wait till 2018? If you you are fighting for my money. You need to show me now.
Right.
Or the roadmap, at least, I don't know. I mean, I think going into that, I don't have a problem with you showing like a Metroid card. If you really have some stuff,
throw a logo up there, man.
Yeah. Say, hey,
if you're working on Perfect Dark, man, throw the Perfect Dark logo up there.
Right.
Like just something, you know what I mean? Like we know Halo's coming, but give us something that we don't expect. Like people were like, man, we're never gonna get a Metroid. We're never gonna get a Metroid. And then they're like, here, we got 2 of them coming. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, just give us something that people don't expect. Throw the logo up there, let people go crazy. You know what I mean?
And see, I don't understand why I know Quantum Break and Sunset and what else just didn't do it for Xbox. But why is Phil so afraid to just give us a little taste, just a little, an hors d'oeuvre, just they need to learn. I kind of hope, okay, we don't know for sure they're going to be at Gamescom, and I think there's word they're going to be at Tokyo. They need to have a PSX-like show and go ahead and show the games that are coming out early next year, and give us a couple teasers, because we know they're working on Halo 6, like you said.
Mhm.
You know, if they're working on Fable 4 and they got a studio that they trust, like you said, just throw the
logo up there. You know how many people would have went crazy if they would have saw Fable 4? Just Fable 4, just up there. People would have went nuts. Like, oh my God, it's coming back.
That's
all it was going. You know what I mean? That would have been a narrative of their show.
People would have been talking about that all E3. You know? Hey,
and I don't want to like miss. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Sean in the live chat has a real quick question. He says, don't you think it's better for Sony to hold back announcements when they have a ton of unreleased games and games they have still yet to advertise?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a little bit smart for Sony to hold off announcing anything until that we get these games that we've seen for the past 2 or 3 years. Until we get those games in our hand, like, I'm kind of cool with them not announcing anything else.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's cool that they announce great games and we got stuff to look forward to. But, like, we still got Spider-Man is not in our hands. God of War is not in our hands. Detroit is not in our hands. You know what I mean? Like, Days Gone is not in our hands. And it's cool. Like, all those games look amazing. But if you announce more games on top of that and we haven't even got a chance to play those games, then your mantra of greatness awaits truly is what you say it is. We still ain't got those damn games in our hands. Like, we can't play them yet. You know what I mean? So, I'm cool with waiting on it. Like, let me start getting some games first. Give me GT Sport. Like, you keep saying it's coming out. Like, give me a date. Let me go get it. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Okay, Days Gone. All right, cool. I got Detroit. I got it. And then announce more games. But if you just keep announcing more games just to get people excited and we haven't played them yet, what are you really doing at the end of the day?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think people too, like, they forget, you know, gaming overall, you know, we have more games now than we've ever had, right? So now more than ever, it's almost like gaming is definitely like a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. It's like everybody wants an announcement and a release date the same day. But then you're pissed when the release date can't be met.
Yep.
So now they kind of go, well, you know, if you're invested in our ecosystem, we don't plan on going anywhere. Do you plan on going somewhere? So look, this is what we kind of have coming. We don't have a date yet, but this is what you can be looking forward to. It's coming. Yeah. So in the meantime, play the other 200 games in your library. You know?
Well, like, when you announce games too early,
20-hour Persona game to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they don't come out. I mean, Scalebound and Fable Legends, that was a big hit to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you don't have to go, like, definitely don't go too early, but in a situation where, you know, I think especially where like Microsoft is concerned, you've been really quiet on the games front. And even Phil said in an interview recently, he said the focus was on the hardware. And he said, and I definitely think we can do better in the first party space. And we do have some things, you know, but again, that's like, you know, CEO speak. We don't know what that could be. It's a thing that you think about because you kind of go, well, you know, you had Halo Wars 2. It's been super quiet. And again, you talk about people building themselves up. And I think we're all a little guilty of it, you know, but I think after a few days of having time to clear and going back and watching some things, I was like, yeah, these weren't as bad as I thought they were. But I think a lot of us were, you know, through a lot of our own fault too, were like overhyped, but a lot of it was through both, you know, Sony's fault and Microsoft's fault. Sony did such a bang up job last year that people were just expecting them to come in like 300 and destroy it. And they said, no, well, you know, depends on how you look at it. If they destroyed it, it kind of came in and showed all those things you were excited for last year. Here's a little bit more to show you, you know, and we'll move on. And then with Microsoft, it was like, I said to someone, I can't remember who it was, but I said, I don't know if Microsoft could have lived up to, in a lot of ways, to anything because it was so hyped to a fever pitch, you know? But with a few days removed and going back, I was like, their conference was solid.
Yeah.
You know, it's just when you have with this new hardware that you've been touting, but you didn't really give that definitive game. And for some, like you said, like we said, Forza's there, but you know, like Fastback, you said you're lukewarm on it. I'm not a Forza Motorsport guy. I'm more of like, I like games like Horizon. So for me, I'm one of those people that were excited, and I'll always say it looked amazing, but it's not a game I'm looking for. You know, I wanted a first party game from them that said, hands down, definitively, this is what this thing is going to do. This is why we called it the monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show this evening. Great conversations as always about video games. Hopefully, you learned a thing or two by listening to us tonight. I think I like to believe that. I like to believe that we educate people here too.
Hope so.
Before we get out of here,
Yeah.
I gotta call out Quantic Dream and them getting Jesse Williams to be one of the main stars.
That was cool.
Because that, you know, Jesse Williams is a known activist. You know, he talks about a lot of things that people are afraid to talk about.
Yep.
And for him to be in that game is super amazing. So
Yep.
a lot of people, if you don't know who Jesse Williams is, go ahead and Google him and see some of the stuff that he's done and why he fits, the mode of that game. So,
Yep.
I pointed out to my wife, B.
yeah.
Oh, okay. She don't care about the game. She's like, okay. She just likes him.
Right.
She's like, video game. Whatever. I was like, yeah, he's in the game. She's like, oh, okay. But the minute I saw it, I was like, oh, snap. Okay. And that's why I think I said to us in the DM, I said, I said Detroit could be something special.
Yeah.
It could be Quantic Dreams. They do games that kind of resonate.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do. Yep. So, all right, gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show this evening. And big thank you to Matt from Nolan Nerdcast, who joined us earlier. Fastback, thank you again, man, for coming on last minute.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, always enjoy it.
Yep. And Eric and B Money, thank you as always. Definitely appreciate you guys taking time out every Wednesday to shoot the shit and talk video games.
No doubt,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll be back next Wednesday at the usual time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully it's not a slow news week. The rest of the week, hopefully get some more things. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about. I'm sure that idiot from Sony will say something else dumb. And I'm sure we'll get some more gaming related news because E3 is still going. It's open to the public now. I heard it's a madhouse.
Well,
yeah, I heard it's a madhouse. I saw Tony tweet out saying it was a madhouse. It was a mess. So, but on that note, I'm gonna thank everyone and hanging out with us this evening, and thank you to the Tolbert brothers. Sam's brothers actually came in and hung out with us, so we appreciate it. Thank you, and big shout out to Nels Coney, Sean, who joined us a little bit later. Super Cooper, is it Super Cooper or Super Coop?
Super Coop.
Super
Cooper.
Super Cooper. HDK. Oh shoot, I know I'm forgetting people. And if I'm forgetting you, I apologize. Anyone new in the live chat, thank you again for checking us out. Remember to subscribe and like as well. And again, we'll catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Game on.
yeah.
Oh, I got to find a stop button. Here we go.